You're from Alabama, I need you to be a certain way. Was picking the barn, was it something where they said, hey, now this looks Alabama backwoods,
Yes.
What makes a better story? Because I know you weren't working out of the barn. I know you weren't.
No, I was not working out of a barn.
So tell them kind of how they
And what
produced that
happened,
idea a little bit.
My mother, she may be a lot like your mother's, but she's Southern Baptist Sunday school teacher, and she has to do with all this, if you can imagine. She's already crying and praying a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I put off telling her that I was doing a reality TV show because I knew how that was going to go until last minute. And so they were coming to film what I thought was on Monday at the barn. So I'm up there like cleaning it up, you know, because I know they're coming. They show up on Sunday, and I had planned to have dinner with her Sunday night. I get this phone call, and my mother, I answer the phone, and she goes, "Oh my God, what have you done?" And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "What is going on?" And she said, "Get up here now." I get up to my mother's house. They come a day early. They were painting her barn. There were porta toilets being delivered. There were boom trucks with cameras. There were girls with clipboards like running around. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I was just like thrown into it. And I had to explain to my mom. She goes, what have you done? I said, it's no big deal. I'm just doing a reality TV show. She goes, oh my God, you sold your soul to the devil. Which I pretty much had. But they wanted it to look as if, you know, stereotypical Alabama. And backwoods, redneck, small town.
And when we say stereotypical Alabama, if Wendy and I hadn't had our reality TV experiences that we shared with you the other day, I really wouldn't get this. It's not what we consider Alabama. Everybody here is from the South, right? I know you're from Kentucky. That's still almost the South. It's not the way we see ourselves as redneck, because when we say redneck, we picture something totally different. The rest of the country just groups us all into the worst.
They think like Southern Mama.
Or even worse than that.
Right.
They think so, and so what they produce you in a way on television.
They go more white trash than Southern.
That's the best way.
Missing teeth.
Yeah.
Very white trash.
Cars jacked up on bricks in the yard.
And all of us are very country. You don't realize how country you are until you work with a reality show and they point out things that you do. I'm like, well, I guess I am a little country.
Yeah.
But you know, I do have a touch of white trash. But they take that, but they take it and run with it. And it's all the idea of how you produce the shot, how you produce the story. Once again, this is JMC 305. You know, we talk about storytelling. Automatically with that barn and the imagery and the street, look at the overall story before this show is even taken one bit of video, what they're producing with it. So go ahead,
and
Scott.
the thing was, you know, I mean, when you think of Southern barn, you think of the red barn with the white trim. Well, my mother's barn, which used to be my dad's mechanic shop, was brown. So they're out there painting it red with the white trim. Didn't even ask.
To fit the schema. They're out there fitting the schema of what the rest of the country thinks of as a barn. And there was nothing wrong with a brown barn.
No, there was
nothing wrong with
it. It wasn't typical Southern barn in the minds of everybody.
Of a schema. If you think of the psychological term of schema, something they already know.
They want a barn like what comes in a Fisher-Price playset.
Yes, what the majority of the country thinks is a barn, because they don't want you thinking too much on television. They want to tell you.
They don't want you guessing if it's a barn. They want to be, look, it's a barn.
He's in Alabama, it's a red barn. That makes sense. Little details like that when you're producing the story run wild. Well,
really it's like when we did ours, and they were like, well, do you have anything camouflage to wear? I had to go to the store and go buy something camo because I do not wear camo.
I got my kid's BB gun. You know, I'm calling all my neighbors, I need guns.
Yeah, they were actually in the woods, you know, cutting weeds and putting them up against the barn where it looked like weeds.
To make it look.
Because it was too manicured.
Framing the story to make it look more country.
Yeah, exactly.
So go ahead, Scott.
But anyway, so I was on WeTV, going back to that original story. I get home, literally the next morning, I get a phone call from my producer, and he says, are you sitting down? I said, no, do I need to? And he said, yeah. And so I sit down, and he goes, okay, you no longer work for WeTV. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I just got back from New York, filmed commercials, going through all this, met all the executives, all that. He said, Food Network just snatched the show. I'm like, what are you talking about? So basically what happened, Food Network offered more money.
At that point, had you signed a contract with the production company, but not with the network?
Right. I'd signed. I belong to
the production. At that point, the production company has the rights until they've received payment to put it on any network they want, and they work on a commission. So when you're at a production house, they want to pitch it to the biggest network to make the biggest amount of money off of advertising, so they get the commission. And Scott was locked into a rate pretty much no matter where it landed. Is that correct?
I had no say-so in anything. I was just talent.
And I'm going to tell you something. What was really, he keeps saying the word talent. He let me look at this contract. And I've gotten to look at a lot of corporate contracts and business and things that I've done. Some of the things that shocked me, he keeps saying talent. It really did say that. Scott Wedgeworth, comma, talent, undersigned. And he just signed his name and it said talent.
I was so proud of you.
And it read like a typical 1099. When I say 1099, when you go to work for a corporation, you're a W-2. They cut you taxes. They pay your health benefits. When you are a 1099, you are a contractor. If I was to come in and put up this drywall right here, I'd be a 1099 contractor. So Scott wasn't paid necessarily a salary. He was given a budget and said, this is the amount you're going to make, but you've got to fit, if I read this correctly, all your supplies and your people within this X amount per show. So Scott, you are given X amount of money to produce this show, and whatever it costs you, if you go over that, it's out of your pocket. If you go